Hey guys, how you doing? And well, hello there. You probably already know where I am. I'm at the garage. So I'm waiting for my mechanic to take a look at my silver cabin so that it's going to be functioning properly. What had happened was I was driving last night and I kind of smelled something burning, and that wasn't good. And obviously I have a huge concern when I start smelling something that's burning. Typically, that can cause fire and so on and so forth. So I pulled over and I was looking around and I really couldn't see much. It was dark as well, but I could smell this burning, you know. And I thought maybe is it the radiator? Is it something else? Is it burning oil? No, it's not burning oil because it's fine. You know what I'm looking at right now? I'm looking at this. Look at this rust. Sorry about that, but I'm gonna fix that because I know how to fix that stuff. I mean, I'm not a pro at this stuff, but at least it'll be aesthetically pleasing. But I don't know, I kind of like having the rust there. Kind of gives the indication that, hey, there's nothing really valuable in here that you want. But I digress. Anyway, so I'm here at the garage. And if I take a look here, over here. So anyway, so I'm waiting for my mechanic, and I thought, you know, I'm just gonna poke inside and take a look at what's going on with my van here, with my engine. And just right over here real quick, so that there is the positive that goes all the way back to my van for the DC to DC charger. Boy, I still remember installing that thing, the DC to DC charger, and I remember when it was charging the battery, it was the total best. It was the absolute best when I was, you know, when I was driving and it was charging my battery. It was just bliss, I'm telling you. It was amazing to me. And then obviously sometime last year I started running into battery problems, and now, you know, it's fixed, but it's not 100%, but you know, it's better than it was before, so that's a good thing. Anyway, so I'm looking at my car engine here, and then I noticed something, and when I'm going to show you the video and let me know if you notice. So it's a 3.3 liter 6-cylinder, and here's your radiator. And if I go here, I'm looking here, and what's that right there? What's that right there? You guys see it almost in the middle of the screen? I have a feeling, ooh, it's hot. Oh, hold on. Sorry guys, I almost burned my hand here. It's actually pretty hot. I'm gonna wait for the engine to cool down. But what this means, I think that burning thing was that plastic thing. 1 second. I'm gonna try to get it. Let's reach my hand here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is it. Oh wow, look. It pretty much burnt. That's it. Look at that. I think I'm going to save a few bucks this morning. Well, you look at this. It must have fallen off. Obviously it fell off, and it started to burn with the engine. So I think it's okay. Well, I'm still going to show it to my mechanic and see, you know, is this piece really important? It looks like some kind of guard or cover. I'm guessing it goes just at the top over there. I mean, if it's not important, I don't need it. I'm just going to throw it away. I mean, this thing is so old. Well, here's what I'm here for as well, is to swipe out my tires. So what I do is it can actually fit 4 tires. You know, and although it was cold the last week and it slightly snowed, I think we're not going to get any more snow, which is a good time for me to swap out these tires, not swipe them out. So I'm kind of glad I looked into my engine. I am by no means a trained mechanic or anything. A lot of the stuff that I know, I've watched on YouTube, and also just talking to other people, and my mechanic gave me some advice here and there, because he sort of knows that this stuff starts to cost a lot of money after a while. This is an older vehicle. It's a 2008 Dodge Caravan. But overall, right across the board, this vehicle has served so well. in terms of the traveling I've done. I've done well over 50,000 kilometers, and aside from maybe the radiator, it's a brand new radiator, and I also replaced the bearings and things like that. It's holding up really well. I had the issue with the windows going down, but I was able to fix that, and also the side door. Nothing really serious. I know on a like a really bad level, like the transmission's still good. Granted, I don't drive crazy. I'm a right side of the road type of driver, and I respect people's requirements that sometimes they need to get to work or they need to get somewhere as fast as possible. So I don't drive in the left lane. If I'm driving in the left lane, I'm either passing or I'm going at a good clip there, so that I'm not inconveniencing anybody. And if I do know somebody's behind me, it's very easy to sort of look back and say, okay, well, this guy's pulling up on me right behind me. I'm just going to go on to the right lane, because that's a driver courtesy. I'm not one of those drivers that says, well, I'm going to go speed limit and, this is where I'm going to be and, tough luck. I think that's very discourteous, especially if, at some point someone needs to pass you. Okay, if you're going to be driving on the left lane, it's just one of those things. But I also understand that maybe you need to make a left turn later on and you are slowing down. So these are little things that I've learned just driving a lot all over Ontario, and I'm really excited this year, especially this summer. I want to head up north a little more. Granted, the gas prices are really bad these days. It went up to like $1.65 this week, and in some places more. I got my gasoline at $1.47, so I'm happy about that. Now I need to fill up, so I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and spend some more money, which is common, right? But I haven't been spending a whole lot of money, fixing this thing. For what I've gotten out of it, it's maybe a few car payments, and that's what's great about having, picking up a vehicle which you've already paid for in full. You don't have the car payments, and you're not worrying about thinking about, okay, how am I going to make my car payments, or if it breaks down, and so on and so forth. Granted, newer vehicles are, I think, much more fun to drive because there's less worry. If you are, driving long distances, or you're going on a huge like road trip journey and you don't have a new vehicle, that's gonna offer up a certain level of challenges and worry as well. For example, I was thinking, well, if I was heading out west with this thing, will this thing even make it out west? I think it will, because it's in really good shape, but I would make sure that, I'd make sure that the spare tire underneath this van is still intact, because after a while, when the spare tire has been out in the open, it loses its shape, and it's no good anymore. You pretty much have to replace it. The other thing is, I would make sure I do a tune-up, make sure all the fluids, there's no leaks and everything. And my route, I would ensure that it's accessible. For example, I know there are some YouTubers that drive out way out in the bush, and I'm thinking, if their car or their vehicle ever broke down, if their van ever broke down, they're stuck there, and the tow back would be so expensive, let alone if anyone wants to go out there, for fear that they might get stuck as well. So that's pretty crazy, right? So heading out west, I've been planning it forever. If you've been a subscriber to my channel, if you watch any of my videos, I always mention it. That's on my bucket list. That's one of my dreams. And who knows where it's going to be, who knows where I'm going to be in the next couple of years. I'm not really that sure. Like, maybe I'll get there. I know eventually I'll get there. And with this van would be awesome. I thought of getting another van, like getting a bigger van, like a V8, like like a 40 Econoline, that kind of thing, and maybe a 250, 150 or 250, just more space. It'll be much more comfortable, and obviously I could put on better tires on it, so better traction. But I don't think I would be traveling in the wintertime. I would be traveling most likely summer. So I want to make sure that the air conditioning is working as well, which, by the way, I'm going to talk to you about the air conditioning. So in the previous episode, sounds so official. Well, hold on, excuse me. Okay. So By the way, I don't know if I told you, but I'm waiting outside my mechanic shop right now. Um, Obviously, I'm early. Um, and what's nice is I can sort of just chill out in my van, which I do a lot. Um, but I think they should be here. They just messaged me and they will be here soon. So that's good. So I'll wrap up this video. But before I wrap up this video, I'm going to talk to you about the air conditioner. So I have an idea that I know where I'm going to place it. I'm going to place it just near the back. I've deconstructed the storage portions of the back of my van. It's a total mess. I really don't want to. I really don't want to show it right now because it's a total mess. But I'm starting to plan it out. I'm taking measurements because the number one thing I need to do is decide how I'm going to exhaust this air conditioner. It's 2,000 plus watts. It's a good AC. I've tried it out. The other thing is the power supply. I really need to look into getting a better battery system, but for now, what I've got is what I've got. Granted, I don't think it's going to run this AC for that long. I think maybe probably 4 hours tops, but I need to get the rating in terms of how many amp hours it takes, how much draw it takes, and then I can calculate on a chart, you know, how much power I'm going to need to let it run for, like, say 6 hours, 8 hours or something, right? Because when you're sleeping, let's say outside, like when I go up north, the evenings get really cool, so you don't really need an AC. If anything, I actually need heat, right? If I'm on a campsite, I'll use my buddy heater because I don't want my diesel heater running and bothering anybody else, because that's just rude, right? But if I'm out somewhere like really far away from everybody, the diesel heater doesn't sound that bad after about 10 feet or so. It depends on how dense the camping situation is. But I've tested it before. I turned it on and I walked away, and you know, you can't hear it. So that's important if you're camping and you have a diesel heater and your neighbors, your camp neighbors right next to you, you know, don't use one. A buddy heater is actually better. Granted, you have to make sure that your windows are open so you got good airflow, things like that. And speaking airflow, I'm really considering putting up a max air fan, you know, at the top here, and you know, create more airflow, that kind of thing. Yeah, I have a lot of plans for this fan. It's just one of my concerns is, you know, how long will this little baby last? I mean, overall it's working really well. Maybe I've gotten really lucky with this one, you know, that expression knock on wood. I'm going to invoke that right now. I'm surprised it's lasted this long. Granted, I don't drive crazy. I'm one of these like really just chill drivers. I don't think I've ever driven this thing more than 120 kilometers. No, I can't. No, 100 kilometers per hour in terms of speed. I've definitely driven it tens and thousands of kilometers of distance, but that's about it. Anyway, going back to the air conditioner. So the exhaust is something, and I have some sketches right now that I'm going to plan it out so that it actually sort of like similar to the other one where I mounted it on the side. I'm going to mount the exhaust. I'm going to have the air conditioner inside, and then I also need a vent system so that I could have a hose that I can direct it to. So those are things that I'm thinking of right now. Okay, so I talked to you about the engine. I talked to you about the garage. Yes. So I'm gonna have some time off, which is gonna be amazing, and that's probably when I'm going to work on this. I've got some work that I'm doing right now, and it's really challenging trying to finish stuff off because, you know, I'm a one-man show kind of thing, and it's difficult to when I'm building stuff. It's just me, and even when it comes to the work that I do. Some of you may already know I'm a programmer. I develop web applications, iPhone apps, Android apps, and things like that. And I've picked up a couple of contracts that is just a joy to work with, and I really appreciate the the support that I've gotten from the client, which is rare, especially in the industry. But I think a lot of it has to do that I explain to them, what I'm doing and the schedule. I think it's important to inform the people you work with, hey, here's the schedule, here's what I can do realistically by this timeline. I'm not going to give a false timeline. That's because no one's ever happy with that. But I give them a realistic timeline, and that's always helped out in terms of the work that I do and the work that I finish and the work that I deliver, and that's important to me. And if there's any issues, I always say, good news can wait, bad news must be reported immediately. That way they have time to respond or / react. And yeah, that's how I approach things, and that's important. Planning is also very important. So I've got a few of those that I'm working on, and very happy. And I delivered a project just a couple of weeks ago and worked out okay. And so I'm going on to phase 2, solved a major issue there. But aside from that, I am hoping to bring all that in to my, maybe turn this into a mobile office kind of thing. I'm not really sure, but work via my laptop and travel during the times I'm off, kind of thing. It's all kind of fuzzy. This is where it gets really fuzzy. I know there are individuals who work and travel because they can do it. They can work from anywhere, and I think that's great. But I'm thinking to myself, well, if I'm traveling or if I'm taking a holiday, taking time off, vacationing, do I really want to be working? My answer is probably no, unless I'm doing something that, unless my life situation changes. Let's say, let me give you a scenario. Let's say, I'm traveling full time. I'm living out of my van full time, which I could see happening at some point. And I'm working full time, or maybe I have I have the merch store, which I need to check what I've actually sold. I don't check it all the time because it's just something that I did. It was one of those things that I learned how to put together. I have some t-shirts. At the bottom of this video there should be some kind of mugs and stuff showing. So if you're interested, buy a mug or a t-shirt. I have to set up my form so that I can actually accept money, so that things like that. All this all come into play. But I can't imagine right now turning this YouTube, or what I'm doing right now, into an avenue in which it would actually pay my bills. That's just right. The thing is, I'm not looking at that either. That's not my plan. I just want to share what I'm doing. And you know what I realized? It's probably one of the longest videos that I've done in a while, because I'm now kind of just talking. Yeah, I am. I'm just conversationaling, whatever the case, whatever it's called. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up now, guys. I appreciate you guys actually coming by and listening to me talk, and I appreciate the comments as well. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. If you like the channel, subscribe. If you think it's pretty cool, hit that like button and whatever else YouTubers say these days. And I always say it. Remember, well, maybe that's him. You're awesome. Okay, bye-bye.